continent of Ito, poured out from the molten volcano that inhabits the northern portion of the continent. The continent of Ito was born from the eruption of the Luang Peak, spread apart and fractured from the ensuing warfare of the settled species. Ito is primarily populated by druids, rangers, and sorcerers with a deep connection to the continent's natural magic flow. Legend has it that deep within the Luang Peak there exists a pair of twin dragons, one golden and one red, that both act as serve as the continent's protector. This tradition fell through when nation-states emerged over the once primarily tribal villages. The tribes of Ito, originally a group of two different settlements, Luang, who worshipped the mythical golden dragon, and Hayun, who worshipped the mythical red dragon. When Huan split during their warring period, Xinhua people separated and became the first of the great nation-states. The Luang volcano has been dormant for a long while, and so has the natural magic of its people connected to the continent. Despite the natural heat from the volcanic activity, Ito experiences heavy snowfall. The beaches of Ito are black due to volcanic ash, and the coasts are swimming with oceanic species of all sorts. During the nights, small cephalopod species cling to the basalt rock towers that cling to the edges of the beaches and illuminate the lands with hypnotic bioluminescent patterns. These little guys are called star guides, as they are rumored to guide people to better lives. In recent environmental protection mandates, a specialized military force organized by the Luang Empire has been enforcing a cleanup operation after nuclear debris has washed upon their shores, stirred by the moving of the continental plates in recent times, alongside the corpses of large sea monsters of long forgotten eras. Huon, which now has been separated into multiple separately governed sections, was owned and represented by ill-mannered shamans that worshipped the red dragon of Ito, a warring, ill-tempered, and generally rough culture of pride and refined skill built the foundation for the Yuan people to make their claim on the island. They are intolerant of the outside world, but the thing they hate the most besides foreigners are their very own people from other provinces. Once, during a battle with hundreds of thousands of casualties, the Huan clans formally separated themselves into the three provinces known today, which each claimed to be the true heir of the righteous clan of the true Huan people. Each winter solstice, however, the three provinces come together to form a mighty coalition for the sake of peace between the tribes in a massive ritual in which they test themselves against terrible trials, something passed down from the mighty founders of the Yuan culture. Yuan people are standardly made up of races with draconic ancestry, mighty dragon turtles, crafty Verden, and stubborn Ganassi. Beyond just the typical species of the world, some have adapted in the isolated islands and its naturally powerful magic. Many people are born with draconic gifts or even flawless dragon marks, and they prefer settling their conflicts with the power granted from them. The northern province of Huan. The northern province of Huan is in population were a shining example to the rest of Huan. It had been founded by the first emperor, Li Dao, in 986 BCE, as a prophesied land seen as holy ground. But since then, emperors have made sure that religion was not overemphasized. The people here were devout followers of the Red Dragon, and all were expected to attend daily services at one of their many temples. They followed the teachings of the Red Dragon, which called for compassion towards others, helping those less fortunate than themselves in doing works of good. A large majority of the population was religious, with small minorities following the Gold Dragon and others with a more spiritualistic belief. This area had been a favorite place for tourists up until recent times, when there had been an increase in the number of religious fanatics who came here from other parts of Huan. Despite this compassion, many who lived within Huan were prone to violence against foreign religions and merchants seeking to profit off of the rich lands. Because of the heavily religious practice and the powerful magic in the land, druids have forever blessed the lands of the northern province. Evil creatures can hardly set foot in their cities, and it is completely impossible for foreigners to make their way past large walls of trees and mountains surrounding their homes. Rumor even has it that should a foreigner try to explore the lush groves of northern Huon alone, a great monster would leap from the ground and drag them straight to hell. The southern province of Huon. The southern people from Huon are in constant arms race with the people from the western province. They are a very competitive and rural people, but despite this, they have found their country to be bought out by a manufacturing powerhouse known as the Heaven Sworn Tower, which drives up and hikes weapon prices for the common civilians. The populace is mostly unarmed, but this does not mean they aren't dangerous. Many have taken up spellcasting as a cheap alternative. As such, they have become quite proficient. Their coastlines are marked large towers of basalt and volcanic activity, which is still currently active to this day. It has become tradition to bake bread in a shoreline hole, where geothermal energy will heat up a large steel pan. Spa activity is also not uncommon, as large tide pools are used by the populace in relaxation. Strangely enough, the population here is explosively predominant with red-colored hair. The people of the southern province claim this to be attributed to their direct lineage to the red dragon that they worship, but is more likely due to their natural genetics. They build large concrete towers decorated in Gothic architecture and absolutely adore stained glass. Western province of Huon. The Western Huon nation have a burning hatred for everyone except their own. This includes even themselves at times. From a young age, their children are taught to hate and kill their neighbors, and anyone who dares mock their own unique subcultures. Somehow, despite this, the country gets along well enough to standardize training programs for martial arts and tactical warfare. The air of this province is so heavily contaminated, it is far cleaner to breathe in cigarette smoke than to breathe in the natural air. This is due to airflow from southern Huon, dragging in the coastal sulfuric air and factory pollution. For this, the Western Province civilians especially hate southern Huon and will kill on sight regardless of wartime peace. It was revealed once that the leader of the Western Province was southern born. It was not 2 days later when the people of Western Huon dragged him out of his home and ate him live on camera. Jinhua. Jinhua is a naturally empty, barren, and sulfur-scarred landscape of crags and boiling water. Brown sands line its muddy shores, and volcanic vents pour out pyres of minerals that tower in the air. The mineral content in the water is so dense that creatures can naturally float on its surface. There are no officially settled people in the Jinhua region, aside from siren folk and the occasional sea elf that can survive its deadly waters. It's generally recommended to avoid the area entirely. However, the deep treasure lays in wait beneath its vents, or perhaps a slumbering beast. Recently, a study has been conducted by the Seven Nation Island that confirmed if certain steps were made in the right way, perhaps the Chinhua region could be turned into a beautiful oasis. However, this is a far-off dream. Seven Nation Island. During the wayfaring times of Ito, the small island off to the south was inhabited tropical region, infamous for dragon fruit. This region was later discovered by oceanic travelers who happened on the Ito Isles. Travelers established this island as a base for themselves and built it into a place of peace between the tribes. Now it's populated by the world's largest stadium, where slug matches are held during solstice. The original founders are widely debated amongst historians, but it is known they left behind a glorious land now used as a tourist. Besides the stadium, there is also a large mountainside known as Love's Twin Peaks, where it is said that if two lovers meet there during solstice, their love will be cemented forever. Luong, separated into its imperial city and the northern volcano, is a peaceful, isolationist nation, unlike its eastern counters. They worship the golden dragon of Eto and are very religious, unlike their neighbors. In fact, they are practically dogmatic about their worship and attempt to cover any and all that will listen to them about their miracles granted by their draconic ruler. They are infamous for their reputable technology as well, as their usage and taming of fire came very early to their ancestors. Many manufacturing companies will say that Luong steel is inferior, and while that may be true, computers and cars are still manufactured with record profits. The entertainment industry is almost dominated by the Luong, despite the regional influence. The Civil Republic of Erhi is a mystical and enchanting land located in the heart of Edo. Surrounded by towering mountain ranges and lush forests, it is a country steeped in rich history and culture, where ancient traditions are still deeply ingrained in the daily lives of its people. At the center of the Republic of Erhi lies a sprawling capital city known as Erhi City, which is a stunning architectural marvel. The city is a maze of narrow alleyways, bustling marketplaces, and towering pagodas and ornate temples peeking out behind the buildings. The city is a hub of trade and commerce, attracting merchants and traders from all across Edo. People of the Civil Republic of Eri are known for their ingenuity and resourcefulness, as well as their deep reverence for the natural world. They are skilled craftsmen and artisans, creating intricate works of art, exquisite fabrics, and delicate pottery. The country is also home to some of the most skilled martial artists.